We're only a few weeks away from Stranger Things Season 5, the last one. It's finally here after 3 years from the end of Season 4 to the final season of Stranger Things. Obviously, despite some people saying that it's been too long, they're getting too old, there's a lot of anticipation for it, and it's likely going to be one of the biggest things that Netflix has ever seen. Well, last week, they may have run into some PR issues because there was a big story in the Daily Mail that accused David Harbour of harassing and bullying Millie Bobby Brown. There was a report that Millie Bobby Brown, one of the stars of Stranger Things, had filed a bunch of allegations against David Harbour. Now, they went out of their way to say it was nothing sexual in nature, that it was just bullying and harassment on set, and that she filed pages and pages and pages of complaints. I think there's a lot of reason to be a little bit suspect of any allegations that ever come out, but also because it wasn't from her, it wasn't from her camp, it was from a friend of an ex-wife of David Harbour who actively hates him and despises him. So whatever that's like the source for your story, you got to question what exactly might be going on. And certainly a lot of people were bringing up old interviews and the way they talk to each other. Well, the Stranger Things premiere, Netflix and everybody involved, and including Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour, seemed to go out of their way to show everybody that there's nothing wrong. We're okay, everybody. No issues here. Stranger Things cast and crew claim Millie Bobby Brown, David Harbour bully allegations are wildly inaccurate. And of course, like what you are going to say, what I would say when I see it, of course they're going to say that. They don't want anything to derail this. They don't want any distractions. They don't want anything like that. And also, look, when I talked about the first story that came out, it seemed incredibly thin. We didn't have any idea what the bullying and harassment was. Could there have been an issue between them on set? Certainly. They're two fucking actors. One of them's a lot older. One of them's a lot younger. I think David Harbour's a massive pile of shit. But at the same time, the story that came out, there just didn't seem to be much meat. And the source of the story certainly is suspect. But this is how they decided to react. After a British tabloid claimed Millie Bobby Brown accused co-star David Harbour of harassment and bullying during Season 5 production. Well, and this was after Season 4, before Season 5 started, by the way. Executive producer Shawn Levy publicly called those stories wildly inaccurate, while the show's creators offered a careful but pointed response of their own. Brown herself even spoke about her connection with Harbour and the special bond that they have. Now, it does seem like they went as out of their way as possible to make sure everybody knew, look, we love each other. This is so freaking great. Millie Bobby Brown said really nice things about David Harbour. This is them on the red carpet. We can play a little bit of this. Spent a lot of time hanging out, getting ready to have their picture taken. A lot of smiling, a lot of joking. Let's watch when they go up there. So, look, guys, we're best friends. We love each other. There's nothing wrong. Look at how smiley we are. We love each other. He's my dad on the show. Blah, blah, blah. Right? And my response to that would be, even if there was a problem, that's probably what they would be doing. Even though I am really suspect of the entire thing. But I wanted to get to Shawn Levy's response. So the Duffer Brothers were asked about this. This was what they said. Obviously, you can understand I can't get into personal on-set matters, but we've been doing this for 10 years with the cast. And at this point, they're family. We deeply care about them. Nothing matters more than having a set where everyone feels safe and happy. In other words, the Duffers weren't going to hand the press a headline, but their tone made it clear they stand behind their actors and crew. Here's Shawn Levy's response, and he would push a little bit further, but it would have kind of the same type of messaging. And of course, it makes sense for Stranger Things in general. They want everyone to feel like this is a family, like they're all tied in, like they're all close together, because that's what so much of the show is really about. Here's Shawn Levy's response.
And finally, on a production note, news of a complaint between two stars on the show broke this week. How do you handle something like that on set and make sure everyone feels safe and respected?
Well, you just answered the question. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the job. You have to create a respectful workplace where everyone feels comfortable and safe. And so we did everything to build that environment. And we're proud of the fact that we did so. And I've read a bunch of stories, and they range from wildly inaccurate to, there's so much noise around it. But the truth is that we view this crew and this cast as family, and so we treat each other with respect, and that's always been bedrock.
And finally,
You can see he said some of the very same things that Duffer Brothers said in terms of we treat it like family, everybody respects each other, blah, 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 safe pace on set. He did say, he did actually go, some of these reports are wildly inaccurate. That's about as far as anyone said to actually addressing the stuff that's out there. Personally, this is my belief. I think there was a little fucking argument, a little toss-up between them that probably isn't that big of a fucking deal because after all, they filmed season 5. I think there's probably just a little something that didn't go right. And I think that the story that the Daily Mail put out was from the friend of David Harbour's ex, who rightfully is actually very pissed at her ex. If you read into who David Harbour is, what they've done, some of the things that have happened to people involved with David Harbour, right? I think he's a piece of shit. I'm not claiming to be the moral authority on anything, by the way. I've fucked up plenty of times in my life, but I do think David Harbour is a piece of shit. But that got taken and spun into something that probably was never really that big of a deal. And now, just a few weeks before Stranger Things Season 5 comes out, the culmination of 9 years worth of all of this stuff, highly anticipated, a lot riding on it. And these are the headlines that they have to deal with. I think everyone went out to make sure we put the message out there that there's no fucking problems. Everybody's fine. Even if there may have been some little thing, I really don't think it could have been all that serious. Maybe somebody overreacted. Maybe somebody was an asshole one day on set. These things probably happen in the entertainment industry. But we'll have to see if it has any effect on anyone's desire to watch Stranger Things Season 5.